Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Moorhead. I am director of the Tufts General Psychiatry Residency Program. And on behalf of our entire psychiatry department, I want to welcome you. And I thank you very much for your interest. Over the next few minutes, we want to give you a good sense of our program. But much more than that, we want to give you a good sense of who we are. Show you the warmth, diversity, intellectual creativity, and strong connection that makes us who we are as a community. To do that, we want to introduce you to the people that we believe embody these values best of all, our residents.
I'm a native New Englander, so I wanted to come back to the Boston area. It's where I went to undergraduate. And then I really loved at my medical school program, kind of the big city but community hospital kind of feel. We really took care of the underserved and that kind of population. And I saw a very similar reflection here at Tufts.
My story is a little different, I think, because I changed residencies from OBGYN to psychiatry. So I wanted a place that would be supportive of my goals of pursuing reproductive psychiatry, which is what I'm doing. This place really was able to support me in doing that.
Is that the way it seems to you sometimes?
The PGY2 class welcomed me with open arms, and I really found a family here.
People were very personable and close. It didn't seem like a sterile kind of academic environment. It seemed kind of more like a closer community, which I was kind of surprised because I think programs in like big cities get a reputation for being void of emotion and academic, but it felt a little closer and more kind of just communal.
The East Coast in general has one of the oldest psychiatric traditions anywhere in the country or maybe even the world. And so working with some of the people here, you're very connected to some of the old traditions in psychiatry. You're tapped into a network, a very valuable network that can help you find what you might be interested in and pursue opportunities within that. Going through the Tufts training program, I felt like I've gotten a good amount of exposure to anything that I might run across in my career.
The thing that stuck out to me the most is learning from peers. I think that's been something I didn't expect. That's where a majority of my learning comes from, getting passed down that knowledge. I've found that it's met my expectations, exceeded it with what I wanted to see.
So I'm from Puerto Rico, and I'm really interested in working with Spanish-speaking populations in the Latinx community here. And I have to say that every week I always have a patient that is Spanish-speaking, and I really appreciate that because there are a lot of cultural components that you might not understand otherwise. I have to say that I am very pleased with the diversity of the patient population because not only are they individuals that live in Boston, but because Boston is such a hub, they end up coming from other parts of the United States as well and from other nations. So it's really interesting to constantly be creating a cultural formulation and kind of understanding their culture and where they're coming from too.
We work with a really diverse patient population, especially because we are in downtown, right in Chinatown. So we have a lot of patients who do not speak English as their primary language. We have a lot of patients who have gone around to many hospitals in the area and end up with us because we take care of patients regardless of their insurance or what means they have to pay. And it's really, really rewarding and meaningful to be able to impact patients who really, really need us.
Basically, I wanted to find a place that had, a wide, diverse patient population, first and foremost, and then a program that was very about the people and very kind of laid back, but at the same time that was driven by the people that work there, that people like going to work.
In this program, you're able to kind of develop your own style, so you get a lot of different input from people of different eras. So we have newer psychiatrists, older psychiatrists, and everything in the middle, and you take a little bit from each of them.
It gives us a lot of autonomy, the structure within the day-to-day, within the inpatient setting, have a good working relationship with all the attendings and other residents, and at the same time you manage your own schedule with your outpatients, so you're kind of your own boss in that way, which is nice to have that feeling.
I'm chief of education, so that has been what I've been working on. It's just recruiting new lecturers, trying to kind of revamp, add in new things. We've really expanded it this year a lot. I've recruited people from, MGH and some of the other hospitals to come and lecture, and yeah, no, it's been really interesting, especially when it's things that we may not have here.
I imagine will feed back into the family in a positive way.
So we have didactics once a week on Wednesdays. For first and second years, that's usually in the afternoons. That's protected time, so what that means is that we don't hold the pagers during that time, the attendings take it over, or the person who's on day call, and that's not the case everywhere. So learning is really prioritized.
I think in general, psychiatry is much more understanding about the needs of just humans in general, especially the emotional and physical needs. I think Tufts does an excellent job of finding that balance of being a rigorous program and pushing you to become a great psychiatrist and having that autonomy, but also making sure that your needs are met on a physical and emotional level.
I try to convince anyone who has an interest in mental health to go into psychiatry because of the work-life balance. And it's huge.
I love Boston. So I went to Boston University as an undergraduate and I fell in love with the city there. And I was looking for every opportunity to come back. It's such a young city environment. It's got tons of undergraduates, so it's always young people coming into campuses over the years. But it's also such an easy and doable city. You never feel overwhelmed.
It's just very easy to get from one place to the other. The communities that I found here are very diverse, which I appreciate.
So I was looking for a program where I would have kind of a lot of support in my learning and have a small enough environment where I felt like I had really good relationships with faculty, I would get good feedback on my everyday interactions with patients, and I felt like I found that here.